I'm just a simple, mild-mannered guy. What does it matter if they know I can fly up to the top of the sky and look down on the city? I can see all the people, I can see them sitting pretty, but I don't wanna have to do that every day. I wanna live my life, I wanna be okay, but I don't get the chance to do that every day. I have to go to everyone, I got to go and say, don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. So just the other day I get a call from the commissioner. He telling me that there's a robbery going down at the bank. So I flew on down there and I got the criminals. I wrapped them up in some rope, then I threw them in jail. But then one got out on bail, so I took him up to the sky. I showed him I could drop him on his head and watch him die. But I don't do that, cause I'm a really nice guy. I wanna make sure everybody in the city survives. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. My laser vision, super strength, and everything else. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. I'd freeze you to death if I only knew I could. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. My telekinesis can blow your mind. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just a simple, mild-mannered guy. So what if everybody in the city knows that I can fly? But that's okay, cause I use my powers responsibly. I wanna make sure that I'm taking care of everybody here in the city knows that I'm gonna be okay, cause it's my job and I gotta do it anyway. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. My laser vision, super strength, and everything else. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. I'd freeze you to death if I only knew I could. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. My telekinesis can blow your mind. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. I don't wanna do it, but I do it all the time. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. I'm just a simple, mild-mannered guy. What does it matter if they know I can fly up to the top of the sky and look down on the city? I can see all the people, I can see them sitting pretty, but I don't wanna have to do that every day. I wanna live my life, I wanna be okay, but I don't get the chance to do that every day. I have to go to everyone, I got to go and say, don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. Don't make me use my superhero powers upon you. So just the other day I get a call from the commissioner. He telling me that there's a robbery going down at the
Boom! I accidentally had us on mute. Damn it.
Whoops.
And ear rape. Sorry, I was trying to make this all fucking perfect. I was trying to make this all perfect, and it already fucked it up.
It already is perfect.
But a big
It already is
exterminate.
perfect.
My bad, guys. Okay, so what was I saying? Big shout out to Brett Crow for superhero powers, letting us use it.
Heck yeah.
Go to brettcrowshow.com to see all his social media info. He's a wonderful, wonderful musician and entertainer here in the DFW area.
Man, little fun fact: Brett Crow and I have been friends since junior high.
Yeah, and then I met
junior high.
And I met Brett Crow through comedy, and that was before we even met each other. Then we met each other, and we saw Brett, and then it was just like, oh, fucking small ass world.
Good people.
Exterminate, you guys are awesome. No, you're awesome, Exterminate. So intro, y'all know me, of course. I'm Dan, the guy who can't even win Mario correctly. But you haven't seen her in a while. She hasn't been here since Detroit Become Human stream.
Yeah.
This is my wonderful wife, or ghetto wife / fiance, Misty Fields.
Hello. Hi.
A little bit of background, Misty Fields, in case you don't know. She's a filmmaker. In fact, her latest flick, the trailer came out this week.
Yeah.
We're going to have that on the stream for you. I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed. When she showed it to me, I was like, I got horny. I'm not going to lie. It was so turned on.
It's a pretty awesome film. I can't even speak right now. The film is going to be so awesome. So
we have that trailer for you. We also have a new promo video for another show coming to the channel. Podcast I'm doing with a manager of my local comedy club, Jake Pinkston. It's called The Crowd's Fault. It's a comedy podcast about stand-up comedy, about improv comedy, all comedy you can imagine, and performing it in front of a crowd. Not only performing it, but you can also get a background history and the business sense with Jake there. And we're going to have a promo for that. But
so if I want to get into stand-up comedy, I need to watch it.
If you want to get into stand-up comedy, if you're a comedy enthusiast, it's the show. And it'll be also with this show. It'll be available archived on YouTube, and we're gonna be putting it on iTunes and Spotify along with this show. The audio of this show. Right now, this is the main platform though, Twitch.
Yeah.
This is actually our second season.
With
the first episode. Our last season, it's somewhere out there. We don't know.
We don't know where. we don't know where. If we ever find, I think we have the files are in the cloud.
Season 2, what's up, clans? Are in season 2, exactly. Welcome, clan.
Well, our little bit of just a real quick history. Like our last episode was a Carrie Fisher tribute.
Our last episode was a Carrie Fisher tribute. Yeah. We couldn't carry on Nerd Alert after that. I was so devastated. Hiya, David. No, what had happened was, so we were doing Nerd Alert Season 1 at a studio with one of these DFW online radio podcast places, big studio. And we were doing good, bringing in good numbers and everything. We had a Friday night time slot. It was great. And then, business happens. Studios do something you don't agree with. And then we were like, you know what? We'd be much happier if we didn't do this right now.
So we had a hiatus.
But now, like, it was like 2 weeks ago, we were building the stream, and we were like, you know what? We could do Nerd Alert again. So here we are.
Yeah.
And welcome, guys. So this show, we talk about nerd culture. The top things this week, or in the previous weeks in nerd culture. We don't get to everything, but we get the things that strike our eye and things that we enjoy. And you guys might enjoy them too, and you guys might check it out.
And we had a couple of like co-hosts, couple more guys involved in the stream, Chris and Felix. And Felix suggested Westworld. Like it was, or no, maybe it was Stu. One of our guests, I think it was one of our guests or one of the other guys involved in the stream like told us about Westworld for the first time, or that on Nerd Alert was the first time I ever heard about Westworld, and I go crazy over that show. I love it.
We got the HBO thing on Amazon Prime just to watch Westworld. Don't get me wrong, we've enjoyed other HBO shows, but that was the priority. But first thing in nerd culture, everybody's talking about it, the Spider-Man Far From Home. The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. What did you think, Misty? What did you think about it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But of course, because I know you told me this is a point in time after the Avengers
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's the one we saw. That's the most recent one, right?
That's the Thanos one, yeah.
Okay, there's so many I get confused. However,
I do too.
Because it takes place after Infinity War, this brings up more questions to me than anything. Where's Tony Stark?
And that is not a spoiler, by the way. It has been said that it has been put out there that this does take place after Infinity
Are we going to play it?
No, we cannot play it.
Oh,
we
dang.
cannot play it. Copyright infringement.
That's right. I'm new to this.
We could do the Be Kind Rewind way and just film our own.
But no, to me the trailer brings up more questions than anything, I think, and I'm like, he's okay.
And I don't think
Nick Fury.
But I don't think that's gonna be I don't think that's a drawback on the movie. I think because the first thing I had as a MCU fan, the first question that I had is, why are you revealing that this is after Infinity War?
Yeah.
Endgame hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. There must be something at the end of Spider-Man that reveals kind of the next phase of the MCU. That's pretty much like so much of an oh shit type of moment that they said, okay, this is worth putting it out before Endgame. And so, I mean, I don't know. I don't trust movies that take a movie franchise to Europe. Nothing against Europe or anything.
I don't know.
A European Vacation.
Why?
Or TV shows, it's just like, oh, the blah blahs go to Europe. It's always just
why is my question. Like,
I don't know.
What's
I mean, it's kind of weird because they take it out of the what we're used to, which is New York City.
Maybe because New York City is all ravaged or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we have only gotten one Spider-Man movie with New York City. It just seems they're going out of the common element and going into Europe, which is fine. I don't know. I just don't trust franchises that, let's go to Europe. I don't trust like Married with Children. The worst episodes of Married with Children is when they went to fucking Europe for 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember that.
Maybe it's just me, and I'm also old, and I watch a lot of stuff that goes to Europe. But I'm excited about this. I mean, these Spider-Man movies are coming out the week of my birthday, so and you need everything you can get when you have birthdays in your 30s. Like anything that's just like, oh, this could have been like a new Twilight revamp, and I've been like, oh, it's coming out my birthday week. I'm gonna go see it. So we're definitely gonna see this because birthday week. They don't put out Star Wars on my birthday week. Nope, they never do that. But Spider-Man definitely. What do you think from what you saw as Jake Gyllenhaal as a? Well, he doesn't look like a villain in the trailer.
Yeah,
he
helps
does. No. In the trailer, he's helping Spider-Man. It looks like because he tells Spider-Man to get out of the way and then does that whole bit. But what do you think about Jake Gyllenhaal? Just what?
We got comments.
Oh, we have comments. Spider-Man in Europe doesn't.
Hiya. Kamo said hiya.
Yeah, that was David earlier.
Okay.
Exterminate Spider-Man in Europe doesn't
sound
right.
right.
It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. And then in the trailer, you learn that he goes without the suit. So I mean, I don't know. It still looks funny. It looks just as funny as the last one.
There's no way he goes without the suit.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
We're gonna have to see it. Jake Gyllenhaal, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be a good villain. He looks dope.
I was going to say he looks like a villain.
He looks dope. I don't know if he's going to be a good Mysterio, but, he looks dope.
He's a fantastic actor. I've never seen him play a villain before.
Yeah.
So I'm down. I'm there.
I mean, I was one of those people that doubted Heath Ledger before seeing any actual footage, and then Heath Ledger turned out to be one of the greatest villains I've ever seen. But more on the Joker later. This was announced recently. I'm pretty pumped up for this. Misty doesn't have that much information on it, but I do, and it's pretty nerdy because of the circumstances. The Umbrella Academy, February 15th. They just released the official trailer. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, look at it. So this comic was the first. This comic is written. I got to put this disclaimer out there. This comic is written by the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. All right, so let all the My Chemical Romance hate happen in the chat if you want to. Fine, but this was like his first big project in the comic book world, and it won the Eisner Award for Best Comic Book. Now it's a TV show on Netflix. One of the reasons I loved the trailer is that it brought a Gerard Way song with the guitarist of My Chemical Romance doing a cover of a great Bangles song.
I love that song.
It was like My Chemical Romance got back together and did a cover. It was so good. Anyway, leave your hate in the comments. But this has Ellen Page and Mary J. Blige as either Hazel or Cha-Cha, these great characters. I guess I should explain the show instead of just fumbling on about. So, there's like 40 children born in the world. 40 women give birth when they wake up, and the same day give birth to 40 children. A scientist adopts 6 of them, raises them as superheroes. Later on, after he dies, it's basically these superheroes with daddy issues because he was a terrible man. That is the short of it. A lot of like time travel stuff like that goes on in the comic. There's a talking monkey butler. It's amazing. It's going to be absolutely. This to me was Netflix going, here's why we can cancel Daredevil, here's why we can cancel Luke Cage. They're going after the indie comic market and making TV shows on great indie comics and hopefully movies.
I'm still angry about Daredevil being canceled. I'm very angry about that. Like, I'm very angry about that.
And the aftermath of it. Like, we don't have a Punisher set up because we got 3 episodes into the Punisher. And that's where you really see the aftermath of all these Marvel shows getting canceled. Because at that point, when they're filming the show, Luke Cage is getting canceled, and the Marvel Netflix disagreement is happening. What if they reboot Daredevil on Disney? Unlikely, right? They might.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of people have made that same speculation.
They might. I mean, the character's too loved. He's too loved by not only people that watch the TV show, but the comic book universe as well.
I'm sorry. Like, the way I'm imagining things, though, is that a Disney streaming service is going to cost an arm and a leg. And I'm not going to add another one to the, I'm not going to add another one.
It would be better if they redid Daredevil as a movie franchise, I think. Get the same guy who played it in the TV show, because he's perfect. Kingpin is Vincent D'Onofrio. Just make it a movie franchise.
I feel like that's going to be super high budget.
So
I don't know. I enjoy it in the format that it's been in. Television.
Marvel and Disney have the money to do it. Why not? Why not?
Do they have the money to do it? Does Netflix have the money to do it?
Netflix doesn't. I mean,
Netflix doesn't.
Netflix is raising its prices, but Disney is eventually going to have the Daredevil properties back, and I'm sure they'll throw him in the MCU in some form or fashion, or maybe a new TV series. I don't know. I
was going to say that was that. I wonder.
But the aftermath of that getting canceled.
Throwing Daredevil in the MCU just sounds like it doesn't sound right. Like, it just sounds like, it's an afterthought. It's not well thought out. It's not well thought out.
That is a good point. But then on the other hand, they're not doing anything with it yet. They might have their own plans. Again, really, we have to see what phase 2 of the MCU is. But Umbrella Academy, this is one of Netflix took a big gamble having this disagreement with Marvel. for shows like The Umbrella Academy. I'm pretty pumped up about it, because I mean, just for me as a My Chemical Romance fan, I just feel like my band's getting back together as these projects are finishing, because that's the only thing that's been keeping the band from getting back together. It's all Gerard Way's projects.
I see that I feel like Gerard Way is like a more successful Billy Corgan, I guess. Like because
it's funny because he looks like him too.
That's why I'm honestly that's why I'm kind of comparing the two.
Look at the production value of Game of Thrones. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
that is a
you're
good
right.
Point.
It's true.
We won't be talking Game of Thrones. I'm trying to finish the first season. I just don't have any interest or care. I guess it's the genre. I'm just really not into fantasy and dragons. I'll play Dungeons and Dragons, but
it's just
when I want to get my fill of it, I watch Lord of the Rings.
Right now, I just want something I can just throw on when I get home from work and just space out. Just
exactly.
Relax and
Game of
not
Thrones,
have to think.
A lot of intense stuff. You can't really just relax and watch it. There's just a lot of intensity,
But I heard the acting's really great.
Fantasy is my jam. Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
It's
What's
a video
that?
game. It's a video game.
Okay.
Dark Souls is the jam, David. I'll give you that. I'm just talking about TV genres. Just Game of Thrones, that type of thing. I'm trying. I'm watching the first season. I'm giving it my all, guys. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a nerd alert where I'm just trying to talk you into watching it with me. But I am giving it the good old college try. I am at the season 1 finale now that I think about it. But moving on from Umbrella Academy, so this is all the recent stuff of what's going on now. And this is going to be an interesting segment because not a lot of people watch this show. I feel like not a lot of people watch this show. I see more
that's
people.
What we talked about before.
I see more people make fun of this show than actually give show credit. Now, we watch this show. We love this show. We are talking about Gotham.
Yes.
So, it was a very cheesy way of going into it. We could have done it cooler, done the bat symbol. What does the bat symbol do on the green screen?
Jim Gordon's crotchal region is like right in between our heads.
Jim Gordon's crotch is right here.
That's what that... Ew.
Oh, it smells like justice.
Ew.
It smells like justice. A little bit of Orange County, California, but a lot of justice.
Oh.
So, this segment is called Sniffing Ben McKenzie's Crotch. No, this segment... I've never
Sorry,
looked so
Grandma,
hard.
if you're tuning in right now. Sorry, Grandma.
Oh, you didn't tell me Grandma was tuning... Hi, how's it going?
No, I shared it on my Facebook, and my grandma's on my Facebook. I don't know if she would...
I wish I would have gotten these disclaimers before the show.
She probably doesn't know how to log on in Twitch.
No, they can watch it without ever, even... signing up. Show has been very well done. Production, everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, Exterminate. So this segment, since not a lot of you probably watch Gotham, is called the 5 Reasons to Watch Gotham. We figured, we could do the segment. We can talk about the current season of Gotham, which also happens to be its very last season, but that's spoilers.
Yeah.
So our first segment about Gotham is going to be 5 reasons you need to watch it. It is an amazing show despite what you hear. Our 5th reason, at number 5, is, production quality. 5, production design and costumes. Misty, this is your area of expertise working in films.
Being a filmmaker, I think that it's kind of reminiscent of the 1989 Batman movie to some extent, but it's more subdued. But you kind of got that classic. Maybe even 1930s kind of look going on, but it's more subdued. But you kind of see examples of like really big color pops.
Yeah.
Whenever you got the newscasters on television, you got the Court of Owls, kind of like it. That was a little bit more fancy with like the feathers and the jewelry and all that. But I don't know. I love the costumes. The production design too. Look at the cars, the cop cars are like 80s or older. I love the whole, there's not necessarily a set time period here, and to some extent the city itself kind of becomes a character. It goes through so many changes though. It's kind of like the calm before the storm that is 1989 Batman, as far as like the setting, the costumes, the production design.
The setting, like it's pretty much the setting and design. Everything you think about with Gotham, like gargoyle statues on top of buildings and dark, rustic, just like, and then everybody else is wearing like almost like zoot suits, but everybody's in a goddamn suit because that's it's that type of period in time. But yeah, and that's what you think about when you think about the city of Gotham. That's always been my thing. That's why I didn't like really the third, what's his name, Nolan Batman movie. I didn't like it because it was set in Pittsburgh when the old city they had was perfect. Pittsburgh though it just didn't look like Gotham to me. But so this show, does a really good job on production design and costumes.
I agree, and I didn't even think about. It's been so long since I've seen the other Batman movies that I didn't even think about that as far as Nolan Batman is concerned. But I think there's this. I mean, it's a diamond in this show's a freaking diamond in the rough.
It's a diamond in the rough, and it catches a lot of hell. But I don't think it should because it's
not perfect.
It's not perfect, and we'll get into that. Number 4, the Batman lore. Ooh. This is my department. She already mentioned the Court of Owls. That's a reference to like a Scott Snyder Batman New 52, a story arc that he did. Now, a lot of people complain in this show that, oh, if Bruce isn't Batman, there's no storytelling there. There's no nothing. That is wrong. So, the Batman lore in this show, I can't even name you a set number. They've got story arcs that's very reminiscent of the Killing Joke comic book. They have story arcs and characters that are reminiscent of the video games, the animated shows, the 1960s show with Adam West. There's just the movies. For example, when Selena Kyle is finally seeing herself as Catwoman, they do the same scene reminiscent of Batman Returns with all the cats. I'm not spoiling anything because you have no idea where these come from. But the fact that this new angle on Gotham itself creating the villains is not Batman, though it's controversial, I think Gotham does it very, very well. Yeah. I think it really does. And like I said, we'll get into the bad parts about Gotham, but all the Batman lore is there. References to everything big in the Batman world, from Long Halloween, Killing Joke, to The Dark Knight Returns. Everything from comic books and video games and animated TV shows and movies. That's why this show is great. You can watch there and they do a panel for panel shot of just something that happened in a comic book, yet relate it to the pre-Batman thing. The only thing they don't have, really, is Bruce Wayne putting on the goddamn cape and cowl. So the show is good for that when you want to see something brought to life in a live action sequence. And number 3, Sean Pertwee plays Alfred. This guy is a badass. One, he is the son of the 3rd Doctor Who. We'll be bringing up Doctor Who later. He's the son of the 3rd Doctor Who, John Pertwee. So he's already just acting royalty right there. But he plays this really badass Alfred.
And that's the thing, like, having seen, I guess, the first 2 Batman movies, like 1989 Batman and I don't even know, what's the other one?
Batman for Returns,
Batman Returns,
Forever.
Batman Forever. Those installments of Batman are kind of like, I'm more familiar with those because I was a kid and I watched them several times. So my point being is that as a non-comic book reader, as a non-Batman comic book reader, I'm more familiar with the Alfred, that's the butler, the elderly man, you know, and so having been introduced to this version of Alfred, I am just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. Like, he adds this element of badassery to the show.
Yeah, but Alfred's always been portrayed and as this old man, and it's always been portrayed with Bruce and Alfred kind of have this, the ones hating on it can't really be true fans because they haven't gone back to really look for Easter eggs in the show. Yeah. Excellent point, Exterminate. Excellent point. But the relationship between Batman and Alfred has always been this grandfather-grandson type of thing. What I like about Gotham, it's like Bruce Wayne gets put with an uncle who hates the responsibility of having to teach this kid how to be a man, but does it.
But he also
he does it with love and care, the same way Alfred always has. But there are some moments where he's very fucking rough with Bruce. There are some moments where he was just like, God damn, Alfred, calm down.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. No. I could kind of see it from his point of view, though. Like, I get it. Your parents died, you little shit. And, you have all this money. Now I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
And Sean Pertwee is you have to see how he is, because it's just like this rough British guy, but like it's just such a great actor. They take the Alfred part and put it in very emotional moments, and very there are the adventures where they gotta rescue Alfred, or Alfred rescues them. Alfred plays a big role in Gotham.
You have moments where you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen to Alfred?
Yeah.
And like, that wasn't a thing.
And that's
wasn't a thing.
And that's another thing
on the movies.
And that's another thing about this show. Not saying Alfred has or has no spoilers, but you expect people to live because they're in the post, like Batman. They're in the post Bruce Wayne Batman universe, and that's the thing. Sometimes they just kill off a character, and you're like, well, where's this going? Because that dude or that girl or whatever exists in the Batman universe. So, and that's the best thing about this. And we're gonna get into this next segment, but this is the one thing I love about this show. With all the Batman lore in this pre-Batman series, it leaves it open, saying like the post-Batman of whatever universe this is in Gotham has unique and original moments. Now, will we ever see those? I don't know, but that's what it sets it up for.
You can't get too married to any one idea of Batman based, you know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's what they did back in the 70s. Batman comics used to be cheesy. Alfred character in the show is my favorite character.
Yes.
Adjustment with this character for me was easy because he is just that great in the show. Exactly, Exterminate. That's what we're saying as well, man. Exterminate's right on the ball with us. But, so, we may never see the post-Batman universe that this Gotham show has created, but I like the fact that they did that, because I think it challenges people to come up with something to follow Gotham, or challenges the DC writing staff, whatever, to make a Batman show and have it be original, because Gotham just set up the framework.
And the production quality is great. The production value is awesome. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, I just... there's some moments, like next one.
The next segment. Now, when you love something so much, of course you're going to point out its faults. It's the good outweighs the bad. There are some bad things on Gotham.
Yeah.
People do hate on Gotham, and I can understand why they hate on Gotham. Because they don't have many episodes where, like, if somebody was just tuning in, they'd be able to fall in love with the show.
Yeah.
Gotham has a lot of goofy, cheesy, bad episodes. But with every bad episode, there's something going on in that episode that is just brilliant.
Great moments. The actors, I can't say enough good things about the actors.
The actors just power through really just a writing team that doesn't really know how to start it out. They know how to end it. They know how to end it, and that's been very apparent in this last season. But they didn't know how to start it. One thing in particular, in season 1, you're not going to care about the adventures of Bruce and Selina Kyle, but you are going to care about the Penguin, because the story arc to the Penguin in the first series is amazing.
Yeah.
Whereas Bruce is kind of just this developing character. Every other character develops, but the priority is on Penguin, and that is an amazing first season.
And I'm a huge fan of. Initially I wanted one of the reasons to be Benjamin McKenzie.
Yes.
And because my best friend Danielle, she watched the OC. Oh God, how many years ago was that? Almost like 20 years ago now.
Let's not think about that. Let's not think about when the OC was.
My best friend Danielle was a big fan of the OC, and she was like, "Oh my God, Benjamin McKenzie," when we were teenagers, And I just thinking about comparing Benjamin McKenzie from the OC, because I was like, "Oh my God, no." Comparing Benjamin McKenzie then to him now, oh my gosh, he's a fantastic actor. Gordon is actually my favorite character. And I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but you get to see his journey as well. he, oh my gosh, just what he stands for, and just, there's a line, and he kind of has to find that line for himself as far as, to what lengths will he go for justice.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I think that's an important journey that he makes.
It's just
and
another character where it's like the
Yeah.
good outweighs the bad.
Yeah.
There's a terrible one. I don't like the character that what's her name from Deadpool plays. I can't. Doctor. What's her name?
Oh no. Lee.
Dr.
Lee Tompkins.
Lee Tompkins. In the Batman universe, Lee Tompkins becomes a figurehead later on in the Bruce Wayne life. Kind of in the animated series, she was actually Alfred's on again, off again girlfriend.
Really?
Like, they went out on dates.
She's older. Okay.
It was very casual, Alfred and her, because they were elderly and stuff. But
I didn't know that.
In this show, it just seems like they got the girl from Firefly, and we need to do something with her. It's almost kind of like Jada Pinkett Smith. We got her. We need to do something with her.
No, she was fantastic in the show.
Jada Pinkett Smith was fantastic, but I'm not. I really don't like Dr. Lee Tompkins.
Aww.
I feel like the Dr. Lee Tompkins storyline, except, I can't bring that up. That's spoilers.
I was gonna say, like, after a point, it's kind of like, but it's at least interesting for a while.
The good outweighs the bad.
Yes, most definitely.
Gotham is it's like wrestling. Gotham is like wrestling. When it's bad, it's horrible. But
it's not horrible.
Okay. But when it's good, oh my God, it's absolutely brilliant.
Oh my goodness.
Which brings us to the good outweighing the bad. The ultimate number one thing about this show is Cameron Monaghan.
Oh.
Cameron Monaghan plays Jerome and Jeremiah with hints, actually obvious clues, and he's the Joker. He is the Joker. But no one talks about him
why?
As a good Joker.
He is a fantastic Joker. You know more about it
from the moment
than I do.
From the moment he shows up, you can tell by just his hair who he's gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And Gotham execs have always denied that he's the Joker.
Uh-huh.
But I don't see how he's not now. But anyway, he's playing two Jokers in right now, just two different Jokers in the show. And it's those absolutely amazing performances. It's two different style of Jokers. One that's crazy and insane, like pretty much how the video games make out Joker to be. And the other one, just kind of this chill, cool, from the Dark Knight Returns type of Joker. This chill, cool, steady, but very intense, yet funny and sadistic in a really sociopathic type of sense. Just this calm sociopath. Fantastic. No one talks about him. No one puts him in the equation. Exterminate. OMG, so brilliantly done. Yeah, no one talks about that.
I don't get it.
But just there's not a bad episode with Cameron Monaghan. There's not a bad episode with his character. Every other villain kind of has certain points where you're like, this is stupid. Like Penguin having feelings for Riddler. That is a spoiler. I am alerting you of that. It's terrible. Like I said, the good outweighs the bad.
You're not supposed to spoil
That's
things.
one of the bads. If I didn't tell them about it, they'd be upset with me if they tried out the show and went, because they'd be like, "You should have told," because that's how bad it is.
I never thought it was bad.
I thought it was. No.
I mean, it's not memorable, I guess.
Oh, it was very memorable to me. It was very memorable. But anyway, that's so. Next week we're going to be talking about this last season of Gotham. Catch up when you can. It's on Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu. So catch up when you can, because next week we're going to be talking about this current season. That was very bad. Nearly ruined it for me. Thank you, Exterminate. Thank you. The viewers are great.
Wasn't that right after we met Robin Lord Taylor?
That was right. Yes. So we met the guy who plays Penguin at Comic-Con.
I was like.
We met him after a cliffhanger about his character.
It was after a season had ended. That's what it was. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere, and cool stuff is happening when I come
Mhm.
back. The cool stuff, his character having feelings for Riddler,
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
not cool. I did
should.
not enjoy it.
Anyway, I
But
was
he's a
like,
wonderful
yes,
person
wonderful
and an
person,
amazing actor.
super nice.
Exterminate. Whoa, yeah, right.
Moving on. Moving on.
So, now to things that have ended, and we didn't have Nerd Alert to at the time talk about it. But another thing I don't think a lot of people are talking about was how excellent the last season of Doctor Who was. By the way, new alerts. So the new sound is the Doctor Who TARDIS, and we have some new alerts. So if you want to follow, sub, host, give bits, raid, got some new alerts up on the stream that does the TARDIS sound. Just FYI, everybody.
Love it.
But this past season of Doctor Who, let's go all the way back from the beginning to when it was announced who the Doctor was going to be. Jodie Whittaker from the show Broadchurch. What else does Broadchurch have in common with Doctor Who? The new showrunner, Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall announced Jodie Whittaker was going to be the new Doctor Who, the first female Doctor Who. While some applauded Doctor Who and said, fantastic, awesome change, I'm not going to say majority, but a good number, I want to say 20-30% of the Doctor Who fan base flipped out, and this was a very, very controversial decision that upset a lot of people.
It's kind of like if you're a bigot, then I'm sorry.
It's weird. It's the same nerds.
It's reminding me of Star Wars, and I'm balling up my fist. I'm angry right now.
Oh boy.
Like, you know what?
Angry.
If you don't like it, go suck one. That's
suck
it.
One.
I'm sorry.
Suck what? Doesn't matter.
There's no reason to be angry about gender, about race, about color. No reason.
Misty throwing it down.
I'm angry. If I wasn't so hyped up right now, I'd probably be able to better express myself in a more mature way.
It's okay.
But just go, just.
It's all right.
We're all people. Suck it. Okay, I got that one.
It's those same nerds that are like, why don't girls like nice guys? And then they bitch about fucking Doctor Who being female and wonder why they can't get girlfriends. But so the show comes out, and
Exterminate's backing me up. LOL.
Exterminate is backing you up because it's the right stance. But all those fucking sexist haters were put down.
It's a fantastic show.
We'll get to how fantastic the season was, but Jodie Whittaker knocked it out of the park as the Doctor. It was kind of weird at first because you're so used to Stephen Moffat's show running, you're expecting the Doctor to have fallout from the previous Doctor's adventures, like Capaldi did with Smith, like Smith did with Tennant.
That took me a while to get used to.
What's great about this Doctor is that it's a Doctor that hasn't been seen in a long time. It's not a Doctor running from anything. It's just a Doctor being adventurous.
Yes.
It's the Doctor not having any romantic involvement in anybody. Nothing. It is just a straight up adventurer. And then you have the companions. And the companions have their own each individual reality to deal with throughout the course of the season, and they deal with it, and it's great. And what's really good about this show is there are a couple of nods to the previous seasons, but there's nothing, it stays consistent and doesn't try to throw anything new that ruins the previous lore. In fact, they kind of changed the formula too. You expect a season arcing storyline.
Yes.
There's no season arcing storyline.
I mean, I expected some of the old villains to pop up.
The
really,
only
there's
old villain,
one.
The only old villain that pops up is the very last episode of the season, the New Year's Day special.
Yeah.
But if you stopped watching after Matt Smith because you didn't like Capaldi, you can jump right back in. To Jodie Whittaker, because this has no reference other than little jokes and stuff. Has no nods to previous storyline. Has no references to previous storylines. Where what season was that? Should I watch that? You don't want to. It is a totally new type of Doctor Who, with still some of the flavor of the old Doctor Who, but the budget's there, and you can tell the big budget's there.
I'm sorry, that just reminded me of Matt Smith, when Tennant became Smith, he was like, he felt his hair, he was like, maybe I'm a woman.
Yeah.
That was setting it up.
And they still have that. Like Jodie Whittaker said, oh, my previous face was much older, or something joke like that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it had a couple episodes where I thought that were going to be bummers. But every episode was pretty well put together, pretty well written. Had a lot of great acting moments and a lot of really good scenes. And then the big bad guy at the end of the season was phenomenal. And then the New Year's Day villain and their take on the returning. We won't spoil that because you can still see the New Year's Day special on your PlayStations. But their take on an old Doctor Who villain and how they put it. That was just an amazing show. Amazing show, and you don't have to be a fan of Capaldi. If you skipped the Capaldi seasons, you could totally. If you skipped any seasons, you could watch this show.
Yeah, I agree.
It feels like a new show. Like someone who's never seen Tennant or Matt Smith could jump right into Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who.
I mean, there's the energy. The energy
better.
that Jodie Whittaker brings to it is amazing.
She's very calming when things get intense. When things get intense in the episode, she's very calming presence, which is something that hasn't been done before in Doctor Who. Tennant and Matt Smith, when things got intense, their characters got intense and added to it. Made things more dramatic, but this is a nice little change.
That just adds another level of, oh my gosh,
like
for
the
viewer. Another level of uncertainty and suspense.
Like they'll bring in a little character in the show that like the companions and the Doctor need to go on with the adventure. And because of the calming presence of Jodie Whittaker, should they find themselves in a troubled situation, you think they're going to get out all right. But it's like vice versa, Tennant and Smith. You think they're going to get out all right, and then that little character they bring in dies. And you're like, whoa, I thought everything was going to be okay, Jodie.
I think after, God, which season? Was it a Capaldi season or a Matt Smith season? It was a Matt Smith season.
Yeah.
Where it was brought up, like, by one of the companions as a concern, or by the Doctor, like, look, I'm putting myself in danger.
Yeah.
You know, by doing this, I'm putting myself in danger.
But, we're just gonna move on. But just Doctor Who, you have plenty of time to catch up because we're not getting any new episodes till probably maybe late 2019. That's the thing about that show. You gotta wait a while. And they're keeping with that tradition.
It's worth the wait.
It's
definitely worth the wait.
It is worth the wait. Now, what are we moving on to? Oh, I know now. Okay, so this weekend's a pretty big weekend. We talk about everything here on Nerd Alert. And this weekend happens to be a major weekend in the wrestling world. Ladies and gentlemen, this weekend is the WWE Royal Rumble. One of the 4 big pay-per-views. One of the 4 big pay-per-views this year. It's one of the most exciting pay-per-views. If you don't watch wrestling, or used to watch wrestling, now would be a good time to get into wrestling. If you watched wrestling, you probably watched it during the Attitude Era, and you figured, well, there's no WCW, there's no competition, so it's not fun anymore. It's actually, we're at a crazy point in wrestling right now, where another wrestling war is brewing. Long story short, Cody Rhodes, son of the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, found an investor, $100 million owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're starting a company called All Elite Wrestling. Once they get that TV deal, it is on. With that announcement, though, they are signing WWE wrestlers who have temporary deals with the company. They just signed Chris Jericho. So the Royal Rumble is interesting because now a bunch of wrestling free agents have opened up, including Kenny Omega, including TNA's Abyss and Sanjay Dutt. And the greatest thing about the Royal Rumble is you never know who is going to be there. And it seems like every year these free agents just pop out of nowhere. So now you watch the Royal Rumble just to see if those guys will be there.
Didn't we have because this is kind of like the road to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So it's like 3 or 4 pay-per-views leading up to WrestleMania are like a big deal. So they're gonna keep ramping it up. Yeah. Like we had my favorite, the little guy, 619.
Oh, Rey Mysterio.
Didn't he come?
He showed up at the Royal
back
Rumble last year.
And him and Balor doing a spot. Come
Mm,
on, come on. That was amazing.
It was, and this card looks pretty stacked. So, what do you want to start with first? Well,
oh wow,
cruiserweight title match. We don't watch 205 live. We don't watch much 205 live.
I don't even.
If I had to pick, it's Buddy Murphy. I don't know who he is.
Some dude.
Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami. I think Buddy Murphy's gonna keep it because he's generating a lot of buzz about himself lately.
Oh yeah.
He's Alexa Bliss's boyfriend.
Excuse me.
I think he's gonna win. I saw the match he did at WWE Crown Jewel, nearly stole the show. I think Buddy Murphy keeps the cruiserweight title, and then we'll move up here. I want to know your opinion. It's Misty's two favorites.
My two favorites.
The SmackDown Women's Championship, Asuka versus Becky. It's your two favorites, sweetie.
These are my two favorites.
Who do you think walks out as champ?
Honestly, because the man, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Because Becky Lynch is so hot right now.
So hot.
I think that Becky Lynch is gonna win it.
Becky Lynch, you think Becky Lynch?
Lynch is gonna win. I think this is a really good time. This is a really good time for Asuka to kind of like reemerge because she was the last woman standing at the Rumble last year. But I think the man's gonna win it.
So let me ask you something. Who does she face? Becky wins the title. Who does she face at WrestleMania?
She faces Rousey.
Okay, so but do you think? Be careful, Dan. Do you think Rousey walks out of here with her belt? She's against. We'll just talk right now. Rousey versus Sasha Banks. Does Sasha Banks upset Ronda? Do you think they go into WrestleMania champion versus champion? Ronda versus Becky.
What's the other option? I think they would do that. Yeah.
The other option would be Becky loses to Asuka, shows up on Raw, or shows up into the Women's Rumble, wins the Rumble, then challenges Ronda.
Becky?
Yeah, she loses to Asuka, goes into the 30 Women's Rumble, wins that, challenges Ronda. I can see that scenario.
But that's the women's title's gonna be, I would imagine, one of the main events. So I don't see that match happening before the Women's Rumble.
Here's what they're going to do, and it's going to piss off the fans. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's my prediction. The first women's title match is going to be Asuka and Becky. Becky is going to win. Okay? Then the Ronda Sasha match, Becky interferes, screws Ronda Rousey out of her title, right? And then Ronda Rousey is a surprise entrance at the Women's Royal Rumble, and she wins the Women's Royal Rumble. Crowd boos, but Ronda challenges Becky for her title at WrestleMania.
For the SmackDown title?
For the SmackDown title. That's how you move. You move Ronda to SmackDown because SmackDown's about to be on Fox next year. That's when they signed that $1 billion deal.
Yeah.
I know Fox wants a big money maker in that roster. Bring in Ronda.
Okay. See, I
don't know. My theories could be absolutely wrong.
I don't think about I never thought of it that way.
I've been watching wrestling for over 20 years.
I
watch
break it down. SmackDown and
predictions, Jake. We are doing predictions. I just hit Misty with my prediction that the first match, Asuka Becky wins. Ronda versus Sasha. Becky's gonna interfere, screw over Ronda, so that Sasha doesn't win clean. Then Ronda, surprise entrance, 30 Women's Royal Rumble, wins it, challenges Becky, boom, at WrestleMania. You put Ronda on SmackDown right when SmackDown moves to Fox. Fox is happy. They have a big star to pull in for ratings. That was my prediction. I need to make my predictions video. Exterminate says, could be.
Maybe.
Now, I guess we should go to the tag match that we really don't care about. The Bar versus Shane and Miz. Are you enjoying the Shane and Miz tag team storyline? No.
No, not really.
No, I'm not either.
I mean,
I thought I would.
I thought I would too.
They're hilarious, but it's just I really don't want them as a tag team.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess that's kind of a way Jake says I kind of am.
I kind of am. All right. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't care for either combination of wrestlers.
Yeah. If I had to make a prediction, the way they've been treating the Bar lately, I'm surprised they even have the tag team titles.
Yeah.
But I believe the only reason the Bar has the tag team titles is because they're the only team on SmackDown that can lose without losing any credibility, right? So I think they're going to lose to Shane and Miz to keep that storyline going. And then probably in the pay-per-view before Elimination Chamber, I think Shane and Miz lose it to
Usos.
the Bar or the Usos or some other tag team, and then it sets up a schism between Shane and Miz, and they face each other at Mania in some crazy match where Shane does some crazy stunt.
See, I haven't thought. See, I don't. You got that on me. I haven't thought that far ahead.
Well, I mean, as I've been a wrestling fan over 20 years, I can just look at a match without really even seeing. Just by skipping the promos and be like, okay, here's what I would do. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be right or anything. And for most of the time, I'm fucking not. I'm not right at all. No disagreement. She's like, yep. All right. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan.
Wow.
I'm not picking a winner.
That's a tough one.
I like the promos more than the wrestling sometimes. I do too, Jake. I do too.
Yeah.
But AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, I'm not picking a winner.
I like both of them.
I like both of them. This match is gonna steal. It's gonna steal the show.
I really like Daniel Bryan as a heel, and I love his version of this heel.
I do.
I don't ever want to see him as another heel ever again. I love it.
Yes.
These people, and I feel like
fickle.
I feel like it's kind of like an extreme version of him. That's what I think.
Yes.
It's a very, very extreme version of him. But he's intelligent, and that's what I love about it. That's something that's like, I feel like as a kid, wrestling was really kind of on the surface.
Yes.
He's adding a depth to it.
He really is.
And that's what I extremely enjoy about his heel.
He's kind of like taking what CM Punk did. CM Punk was a straight edge person, and CM Punk took his lifestyle and said, what if I could make this a heel gimmick, and became an obnoxious straight edge. And Daniel Bryan's doing the same thing with the obnoxious fickle, make that an emote. I like that. That's happening.
Yes. Fickle.
But he's taking that vegan, environmentalist side of his personality and making it into a heel.
I love it.
It's very, very good. And SmackDown, I mean, now that we're just talking about it, I feel SmackDown is better booked in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Even with that tag match, SmackDown's better booked because Dragon versus AJ Styles at Royal Rumble for the title. That is an indie dream match. And then the surprise of the last 2 weeks. And this match booking comes This match booking comes right after WWE announces they're going to listen to their universe. They're going to stop what they're doing because the ratings are in the shitter. And the week after they announced that, they replaced Braun Strowman. I got nothing against Braun Strowman. Well, I do. I don't like him. I don't like his... I don't think somebody that big from Tennessee... I don't think his slogan should be "Catch these hands," and I think he makes a better heel. Get these hands.
I don't know. I think it sounds kind of silly.
I think it does. I think it's I feel it's WWE just trying to get the youth market with this big dude and everything. I think he makes a much better heel, but I think he just has the wrong gimmick as a face. But anyway, they replace him with Finn Balor. Finn Balor against Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar handpicked Finn Balor, not on Raw, but to Vince, handpicked Finn Balor to be his opponents because all the matches he's been having with people like AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, these matches have been spectacular. Brock is actually caring about putting on spectacular matches and is tired of the Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman bookings, wants someone he can have a good match with. Boom, present Finn Balor.
Finn Balor is my favorite male wrestler. Oh my gosh, I am just like, thank goodness. Like, I thought that this should have happened a year ago.
Finn Balor has already said on Twitter that he will not be the Demon King because, now you would think that, he's not going to be the Demon King, which is Finn Balor's pay-per-view persona. He's not going to be the Demon King. he's probably going to lose. Well, his tweet said, I didn't want to be the Demon King because if I'm going to accomplish something, I want my name next to it.
That's very Finn Balor.
That is very Finn Balor.
That's something that he would say, yeah.
With the way WWE has been, and like I mentioned, the company, the rival company coming up, AEW, I can see Finn Balor pulling up a shocker and winning this. His contract's coming up. They don't want anybody going to AEW right now. They're kind of mad at Jericho for doing it. They could, if they're really serious about changing shit, then they know we don't want Brock Lesnar as Universal Champion. I could see Finn winning too. Can't you? Yeah, because of the changes.
Here's the thing: is that like the WWE owes me and everyone else from this crappy freaking storyline with Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley. Oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me?
Their other option is Seth winning against Brock at Mania. But what do they do with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose? Is that over? I don't feel like that's
I don't know.
over.
I don't watch Raw enough to know this.
We really skip over Raw. We haven't been skipping over Raw lately, but when Bobby Lashley shows up, it is skipping town.
His manager, oh my god, that guy's voice drives me nuts.
Would love to stay for the stream, but gotta drop a lurk. Headed out to a hockey game.
Thanks,
enjoy that
horrible gamer.
Thanks for the lurk. It is over. Okay, Bobby did win the Intercontinental Championship, but I'm wondering, is Dean and Seth, even though that title match is done with, even though that title is out, are they gonna fight again for the placement in the Rumble, or are they? I don't know. Is that storyline going to continue? Because that was a short storyline for such a passionate feud.
Yeah, that's true.
They could give the title to Rollins versus Lesnar. I would like to see Finn Balor just shock everybody. I'm not going to be mad if he doesn't. I want a good match. And if Brock Lesnar cares about putting on a good match, okay, buddy, you can keep the Universal title. Just make my boy Finn look good.
Right,
you know?
Right.
Make him look good.
I mean, they made him look pretty good when he on Raw last week.
They did make him. It was ruined with Dean's character changing to hating smelly towns. We did skip over several Dean Ambrose promos because I think the first promo we saw of this new Ambrose, he was getting like something shoved up his butt.
What?
The writers,
I don't remember this.
I saw it. The writers totally ruined Dean Ambrose's gimmick right there. I agree with you, Jake, and hating smelly towns. I do remember that promo. I thought him coming out with the dudes with the gas mask was pretty cool. But then when you get on the mic and you're talking about, towns being smelly and shit like that.
I don't remember that
with you,
exactly.
Jake.
He just was an odd heel. It was an odd heel character that he was trying to
It really
pull
was.
off.
It kind of was very reminiscent of Bane because, he had the jacket and shit. Should have kept with Roman's cancer stick.
Yeah.
Yes, that should have been the fuel of the fire. It shouldn't have gone anywhere else. People didn't have to wear different costumes. Just make it about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, the subject matter. You shouldn't. You should just let alone, let Roman recover, without, But that was a brilliant start to that feud.
Mm-hmm.
And then the writers, I guess they thought that was going to be cool. I don't know. But now, moving on, speaking of Rumbles, Ambrose Rollins, they are in the 30-man Royal Rumble, which I'm sure will headline WrestleMania. In fact, I think that Brock-Finn match is only going to be 10 minutes long.
Oh.
Unless Brock wants to put on a good match.
I mean, I don't know, though, because
Roman would have said not to if he wasn't okay with it. Well, we don't know. I mean, he was probably okay with how it happened, but was probably just don't make it about don't make the whole feud about my cancer. He probably said that. We don't know. We don't know those backstage conversations.
Yeah.
I don't get the logical reasoning of leaving that angle that just gave Dean so much heat. But you never know in the WWE's writings room. So 30-man Rumble. Your main man's not in it. My main man's not in it. Daniel Bryan's already champion. Finn Balor's already in the title picture. John Cena probably going to lose it again. Probably going to be the last. It's probably going to be John Cena as one of the last people in there, facing the person who throws him off the top rope. Who you think is? Who do you think's going to throw John Cena over the top rope and win the Royal Rumble?
Oh, jeez. I don't even know. I haven't even thought about this.
Could be more likely Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose, but you never know. Could be somebody from SmackDown.
The 30-man winner is up in the air unless Brock wins, so Seth wins the Rumble.
The 30-man winner is up in the air.
Yeah. I have no idea.
You have no idea. I'm going to go with you on that.
I don't know.
I have no idea either. Probably, if I had to go with something, I'd probably go with Jake's theory, that Seth Rollins.
Seth Dean.
Seth or Dean. Seth has been putting on amazing matches. I mean, we gave that Seth Dean feud shit, but the matches were pretty fucking awesome, with the exception of the Intercontinental title match with Bobby Lashley. I'm sorry, why the fuck is Bobby Lashley still there?
I don't know.
He is a charisma vacuum, alright? He is just not... Anyway, the women is likely Becky, Charlotte, or Ronda. That's what we were saying. The big three. But, that's why I love WrestleMania season. And then, Jake, we were talking about the current free agents of wrestling. We have Kenny Omega, Abyss, Sanjay Dutt. I believe the Young Bucks actually are running out on their New Japan contracts pretty soon, too. But they'll probably re-sign because they still want New Japan Pro to be involved with AEW. But Kenny Omega may be getting the AJ Styles treatment where he comes out big pop, because Kenny Omega, former leader of the Bullet Club, has surpassed, he's at that AJ Styles level in the wrestling world where like everyone knows who he is without seeing him on the WWE product. So he could show up. That would be sweet.
Didn't he and Finn Balor have a series of matches in New Japan?
Oh yeah, everybody worked with everybody in New Japan. Shinsuke and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega would be a nice addition to the roster, and he's got a cool look. He's got a cool gimmick. He knows the system because he was in the WWE development for a while there. And Shinsuke. Yeah. So adding him, God, he could have great matches with AJ.
Yeah.
He could have great matches with Finn. Oh my God, American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega. Oh my God, the possibilities are endless. So this Sunday, freaking Royal Rumble. Tomorrow, NXT TakeOver Phoenix. What if Kofi wins it? I'd actually love that. Why not? The Royal Rumble is always like, well, I would just like for 1 year, just give it to somebody out of nowhere.
That would be awesome.
The last time they did that, I feel, was Benoit, which is a name we can't bring up in the wrestling world, but whatever. That's the last time I feel like they did that. But, somebody absolutely random. Like he said, like Kofi.
I mean, Rey Mysterio.
Heath Slater.
Oh.
Can you imagine if Heath Slater won the Rumble?
Maybe, but you never know. Maybe they're bringing some guys up from NXT.
That's another thing. It's NXT call-up season. Velveteen Dream. Oh my God, I'd love to see a Velveteen Dream fucking Rumble entrance.
He can have the Intercontinental title. He's better than Bobby Lashley.
I want to marry you on stream right now. I would love. Kobe had a promo on SmackDown about winning the Rumble, so
that's
maybe.
Right. That's right, because they have that thing where they try to keep their feet off.
Yeah, Kofi is the king of not getting eliminated. Yeah.
I love that little thing. I love that shtick.
Velveteen Dream is Intercontinental Champion.
He could be Intercontinental Champion.
He'd bring some prestige back to the title, just how his character is. It would remind you of like an '80s wrestling character.
Yeah.
Just with the Intercontinental belt. Good call, sweetie.
Yeah.
NXT TakeOver Phoenix is tomorrow. Johnny Gargano versus Ricochet. That's gonna be awesome. We don't watch NXT weekly. We used to a lot back in the day when Finn Balor and Asuka were there. Now it's just like, let's just watch every TakeOver. Yeah. You don't really miss anything. Plus, you get the good matches. I'm pretty psyched about TakeOver Phoenix. The roster looks really strong in NXT right now. But I want Johnny wrestling up on the main roster already.
Me too.
I feel like he could have some amazing matches.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while, Asuka was top dog in NXT for a long time, and then Ember Moon, Well,
they're changing it up. Like Triple H told reporters, like, don't don't expect everybody making the main rosters. Some people just become main eventers in their territories. They're doing the old territory method again, which is like, how the NWA used to be, where it was like this territory, and people would travel. Anyway, I got to start my stream up now, so I'll catch you later. It was fun discussing Rumble with you. Jake, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. We're almost out of time anyway.
We could talk about this forever.
We could.
Alexa Bliss is coming back, too.
Alexa Bliss is coming back. You know what?
She could be...
That could be the Rumble winner.
Yeah.
They could do that. They could do Alexa Bliss and Sasha. Ronda. I don't. The Royal Rumble is just it could be a headache with all the scenarios.
Yeah.
With all the scenarios. But guys, this has been the first episode of Nerd Alert. We'll probably have a longer episode next week. We're gonna also be streaming on this show.
We got something else to show.
Yeah, remember? I know. We're getting to it. I'm just doing... This is the end of the segments where we talk about stuff. And we mentioned earlier, Misty, filmmaker, had a movie trailer drop. And we're going to drop it right now, and you're going to talk about it with us.
Yeah.
All right. But we are done with the talking segments. Now, humble brag. So, anyway, guys, we are going to show this trailer. Misty's going to talk about it with us, give us some insider secrets on this movie. But This World Won't Break. I'm sure it'll be available at Amazon sometime. But the trailer came out today.
Yeah, I mean we'll be doing some screenings.
My fiance / ghetto wife worked on this movie. This is one of her babies. So enjoy, guys. This is This World Won't Break.
Seriously, dude, I got a hot date tonight. You got a hot date?
Hey, Dante. Hey, man, I got cut out early tonight. I got a show. Bubba's coming out.
Seriously, dude, I got a hot date tonight.
You got a hot date?
Man, nah, I'm married, dude. Got no hot date. I got your back, bro. What's your name again?
Wes Milligan.
Where you from, Wes? You got a band?
No, sir, but I was hoping maybe that Bubba might let me get on the radio today and play some songs.
No, I don't think that's the way it's going to work. See, I play the hits of country music that people record. I'll make them hits because I play them on my radio show. But I appreciate you coming in.
Charlene?
No, Wes, nobody's trying to make a record around here. We just do what we got to do. We all wake up, put our pants on one leg at a time.
Why don't you come up with me to the house? What do you think, You know, since Mom's been gone, it's quiet,
What are you doing up here looking all lonely?
Not lonely, just alone.
You have a special talent, Wes. You have a gift, man. I'm serious. One day you're gonna own this town.
Man, the first thing I'd do if I owned this town was sell it.
You know it's okay, right? We don't always have to have everything figured out. We don't always have to carry that around. Past. Sometimes people make their own choices, and we just gotta move on.
Just thought I'd be a lot farther along than I am right now.
Who cares if no one knows who you are right now? Because in 50 years, when we're all long gone, people are going to be telling their grandkids about Wes Milligan.
Bada bing.
All right.
So my first question is why does that look so fucking dope?
Why does that look so dope?
Why does that look so dope?
Because we had such an awesome crew and cast. I was the assistant director, so
assistant director, AD. She is right there next to the director. They're calling the shots. They're doing their thing. I just killed my phone.
It was it's a labor of love project that a lot of people rallied around us, and we made this little movie, that could.
How long did it take? I was not around. Well, I was around. Usually Misty and I were in and out the door. But how long did that take to film? I remember
we shot something like 22 days.
22 days.
A couple of different installments of shooting, because we had to kind of take off work and then work so we could save up money to pay, to pay bills.
22 days.
So it was one of those labor of love, definitely. But it's a love letter to Dallas, and this is the reason why I'm an independent filmmaker.
It also just looks like, I mean, even if you're not from Dallas, it just genuinely looks like a good movie.
There are a lot of Dallas, like local well-known people from Dallas in it. Greg, the lead, is an actor. He's a musician, and I mean.
Exactly. Do we know when the first screening is?
I do not know.
Do not know yet, but the trailer came out, and you also have like if you want to see one of Misty's other projects, she has a horror anthology, Volume 1. What was it called?
The Forces of Horror, Volume 1, on Amazon.
Dallas, my home away from home, Righteous Exterminate.
Dallas it's awesome. A lot of people rallied around us.
Forces of Horror.
The Forces of Horror
Anthology Volume 1 on Amazon.
The Forces of Horror Volume 1.
Yeah, Forces of Horror Volume 1.
We're actually working on Volume 2.
Volume 2
with another production. I'm working with another production company, producing and assistant directing.
So the sequel. Volume 2. So the sequel's coming out. It is. I don't know how much it costs on Amazon, but it does cost money. It is very creepy.
It's like $4 to rent it. And like $6 to buy it on Amazon.
So there you go. Look that up, and I'm sure This World Won't Break will also be on Amazon. And when that information is out there, we will get it back to you.
Yeah.
But Misty Fields, she works so much harder than I do. It's unbelievable.
I've got more stuff coming out too.
I'm a trophy husband. Is what I am. That's what I am.
We're gonna go shoot some sketches now.
But it's not for the internet.
we've got that dog video too.
We do have that.
We did a video for a charity called Pinups for Pit Bulls, and that I think screened on the local news.
It did. We missed it, but
we
did. It did.
Anyway, it's on our Facebook page. It's on Red Nebula Pictures Facebook page. You might have to scroll down a little bit to get to it, but it's there. Or go to our videos. Go to videos. It's on there.
I think this went well. No?
Yeah.
So check us out on Facebook. If you missed an episode, every episode will be on VOD, rather here on Twitch or YouTube.
Heck yeah.
And just follow us at YouTube or at Facebook, and you'll never miss an episode. If you sub, you'll never miss it. You'll know when we're on doing an episode, but we're going to do this every single Friday.
Every Friday.
5 p.m. I think this went well, but we are not done yet. We're going to get out of here on a new show coming to the channel with me, Comedy Club manager Jake Pinkston. It's called The Crowd's Fault. Guys, it's been a wonderful, wonderful stream. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Our 20-minute show. I'd say that's a good time. Thanks for everybody. Jake, Exterminate. Who else came in here?
Horrible Gamer.
Exterminate. David Eller.
Kamos?
Glenn. Thanks for coming in. Sweet House. Thanks for coming in. All these people. Thank you for coming in, guys. Much love to you every Friday, and plus I stream every day, so you're gonna see me. But every Friday, Nerd Alert. Here is a show coming soon. Until next week, guys. This has been Nerd Alert. I'm Dan.
I'm Misty.
And check us out next week, Fridays at 5 p.m. Nerd Alert. We back, baby. Enjoy this promo for Crowd's Fault, and love one another. This world's crazy, but not crazy enough for us nerds.
Son
You wore the same fucking jacket.
Yeah, dude, I did wear the same jacket. Makes us look like a team.
No, we look like fucking assholes.
No one can see us.
What the fuck ever, dude. Let's just start this shit.
I think it makes us look cool.
Yeah.
Because we're friends.
Don't touch me.